Alright, let's talk about the Backbone Pro. First of all, I was sent and gifted a review unit by Meta to create this review. In part, since this is mainly a VR channel, I'll show you what you should expect gaming wise and other use cases on Meta Quest 3, 3S, and the usual with PC, Xbox Cloud Gaming, and on mobile. I've had a little more than 2 weeks hands-on with the controller, and I quite like the Backbone Pro compared to other devices like it with the GameSir G8 Galileo, 8-bit Duos Ultimate 2C, and the Xbox wireless gaming controller. It offers new and improved features as with its own dedicated app, basically bringing the closest experience of console gaming on mobile, with its Backbone app acting like an all-in-one hub. The controller features not only a USB-C option, but wired and Bluetooth connectivity as well. Compared to the G8, it actually works great with certain phone cases. However, the biggest asterisk is value. The Backbone Pro retails for $170 USD. It's more than half the price of an entire Meta Quest 3S. You're able to get the G8 Galileo, 8-bit Duo 2C, and an Xbox controller, all not on sale for the same price. However, when it comes to just having one controller do it all, the Backbone Pro is perfect if you don't want extra controllers to carry around. If money isn't an issue, this is perfect for travel and is your one-stop shop. But before getting into my opinion of likes and dislikes, let's go over the initial unboxing. This is the packaging the Backbone Pro comes in. Very simple, and the only other accessory inside are both these magnetic adapters. Out of the box already installed are these adapters for you to use on your phone if you have a case on. However, and this is the neat thing, if you're mad enough to rock your phone caseless, or you want to take your phone out of your case, with your thumb easily pull out the adapters and you can swap them in for a tighter fit to use a caseless phone. On Backbone's website, they also have a list of cases they support for iPhone, Samsung, and other devices like it. What separates this controller from GameSir's G8 Galileo, 8-bit Duo, and other similar alternatives when I was shopping around at the time, you needed to either pick a Bluetooth variant or a USB-C option, at least for mobile controllers. But luckily on Backbone Pro, you can do it both. For example, GameSir's G8 Galileo only works wired while using a USB-C male to USB-C female cable. With the Backbone Pro, you can easily just pair it using the USB-C port on the bottom. The USB-C port also supports pass-through charging for up to 25 watts from what I can tell in my S25 Ultra, but it is a bit lower on, say, my Samsung Z Fold 4. It usually settles below that for around 14 to 6 watts while gaming after the initial charge. A missing feature though is that it doesn't support video pass-through. It was the first thing I tried once it arrived with my USB-C video capture card, which is a huge bummer. For my acknowledgement, no controller on the market does it yet. With something like Samsung DeX and displaying content on another screen as with Meta's external display feature, that I'll talk more on that later. On the other side, it also includes a 3.5mm headphone jack for your wired headphones, as with the button to use the controller and pair it with any device using Bluetooth. On Windows and on the app, it shows the battery percentage as well of the controller and your phone. The website advertises a 40-hour battery via wireless mode. I couldn't tell you the exact numbers as I'm always charging the thing, but not once has it died on me, and it does last. In terms of the build and the controls, the Backbone Pro's design and build quality feel premium, which should be the bare minimum considering the price tag, and it feels great on the hands. Shout out to Flossie Carter. It's not as sturdy as the G8 since it extends directly in the middle. It has a bit of a wobble, but during gameplay it doesn't bother me at all. The buttons and D-pad feel nice and responsive. It has a glossy feel, a sort of slope, and using the joystick inside games feels precise, even though I'm a bit of a bot trying to aim using a controller. Using the left and right trigger and rear buttons feel great. Comparing it to my other controllers, it's also the quietest out of the bunch. It doesn't make a lot of noise. My two critiques are that the D-pad feels kind of soft for my taste, had missed inputs in a game like Tetris, and the joysticks are unfortunately Alps and not Hall Effect joysticks. So it's not a matter of when, and they will eventually develop joystick drift just like your Meta Quest and Xbox controllers, which is a bummer, especially at this price point. It has two buttons on the back on each side that can be programmable, but they need to be set up inside the Backbone app, in which you need to download from the App Store or Google Play Store. And on the app, you can remap the entire layout of the controller as with creating user-specific profiles. Other specific buttons on the controller, like this orange button, take you to the Backbone launcher. Acts like a home button. It's not required to download the app itself, but on mobile it puts all your games into one convenient spot. On Steam, it starts Steam Big Picture, which can be kind of annoying, especially if you're gaming on Xbox or Epic Games, and on Quest it returns you back to the home screen. Then on the other end, this square icon lets you record or screenshot while in-game if held onto. The Backbone app integrates other services like the Google Play Store, Steam Link, Xbox Remote Play, and cloud gaming and GeForce Now into one easily accessible hub. It includes other neat features like a quick menu to easily switch back and forth between devices you paired your controller to. It acts like a multi-point to switch easily from one device to the next, so you don't have to constantly reconnect and connect back your controllers. You can have your phone plugged into the USB-C port on the device, and switching over to your PC, it works seamless. Overall, the app user experience is pretty damn good. Another important feature is the subscription called Backbone Plus inside the app. I know it's a dread. With the review, luckily I got access to it, but it costs $40 a year to access these features as listed on the website. Most features are very niche, user specific, like being able to stream to Twitch, but features like Touch Sync are hidden behind a yearly subscription. It only adds to the price, which I think we can all agree is a bad thing considering you're already paying a premium for the controller and the brand. But recently, as with making this video, Backbone did have a change of heart, switching the play on any screen feature from paid to free, which meant in order to use the USB-C port on the bottom wired into any device like an iPad, Mac, or PC, you needed a subscription, even though it's already included in the hardware. Now that isn't the case, which is for the better, and Backbone also acknowledges this change coming from user feedback, which deserves praise. I think it was pretty predatory to hide a hardware feature behind a subscription, and especially now Backbone Plus is not required to enjoy the controller. Now let's talk about the fun stuff, gaming. Playing on devices that I have on hand like my S25 Ultra and my war-torn Z Fold 4, gaming is really fun. Controls are tight and responsive. An added benefit with the app is that it allows you to quickly launch your games with ease and exit back into the hub pressing the orange button. It legitimately feels like a console experience. Switching between devices on a whim is neat. Sometimes it will bug out not working, but for the most part it works. And this is all controlled within the quick menu settings on the right, and switching back and forth between devices is hassle-free. On PC, it's a similar experience, and it'll tell you the battery percentage in Bluetooth settings once you're connected. On Meta Quest 3 3S, there are 3 ways you can use the Backbone Pro as with any other basic Bluetooth controller. For one, there's a limited list of games that actually make use of a gamepad. Apart from siloed APKs and emulators, one of my favorite games to play in VR with a gamepad is Tetris Effect Connected. Took me a while to get into this game, you know, $30 for a Tetris game? Simple but super addicting, and a great game to unwind to after a long day. Other games that have gamepad support are Trover Saves the Universe and Thumper. This feature is super limited to older games. It's basically an untapped market for a standalone in my opinion. Then we have the official Xbox app on Quest via Bluetooth only, since using the USB-C cable plugged into your Quest for some reason doesn't recognize the input. On other devices like my phone and PC, it works perfectly fine. And another cool feature but janky setup is using Meta's experimental display feature. Currently, because you know Meta breaks certain features with each new update, this only works if your headset, to my knowledge, is on V64 or below and not on V67, as for some reason it can't grant and enable USB-C access. Using this USB-C video capture card that I got off Amazon, and I'll link it down below, as with everything else, I'm able to project my phone onto my headset. With a Samsung S-Series phone, you're able to transform your phone into a desktop-like experience with Samsung DeX. If I'm not mistaken, I think the recent iPhones with USB-C also have this option. It's limited to 1080p at 60 FPS, but you have an entire screen in your disposal. The only bad thing is that the headset loses charge, but you can use a USB-C dual adapter to fix it. This will eventually be Meta's path, with having a headset be the display only and the rest inside a compute puck. But eventually they'll bog this down so it's as simple and not as complex as with my setup. It doesn't quite replace using a monitor or 65-inch TV but it's a good option for short media or gaming sessions or browsing the web. Overall, things I really enjoy with the Backbone Pro compared to alternatives is that it's not as bulky as the G8 Galileo, but not as small compared to the original backbone that I've tried hands-on at Best Buy. It's more of a fine line in the middle. As someone with above average hand size, it feels comfortable and the materials feel premium. The backbone app isn't that bad, and launching games whether locally installed or from the cloud with an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription is really convenient. It doesn't put every game you own onto the app like this game that I'm playing right here, but it's the closest console-like experience on mobile, letting you resume back into a play session directly. When it works as intended, it's great. It's compact, making it perfect for travel, and the design is sleek. Aspects I dislike about the Backbone Pro is the price tag. I think that's pretty common. I'm surprised Meta sent one over considering their space in the market with something like Meta Quest 3S. Like I said before, you can purchase the G8, 2C, and an Xbox controller for the same price. Considering it's the year 2025 and retailing for $170, it should be the bare minimum to implement Hall effect joysticks that eliminate the threat all ups joysticks get with stick drift. Another thing is the subscription. However, since the recent change, it shows they at least listen to community feedback. If the controller dropped a bit on the price tag when on sale and they added Hall effect or TMR joysticks, I would easily pick this over the G8 Galileo to carry on me. But comfort-wise, since the G8 is larger, it's better suited for longer playtime. Although with mobile controllers, I hardly go over 2 hours of total playtime. My situation is usually more catered towards I have some extra time to burn and it's easy to pick up. But if you just want one controller, I could see this as your option. The Backbone Pro value-wise isn't the best, it's kind of obvious. But if you're someone that just wants one controller to do it all, you're on the move constantly or traveling, this is perfect. Sometimes I review products, then you kind of just move on, but I could see myself using this a lot more. It's so close to being the all-in-one solution, but factors like no Hall effect joysticks keep it from taking the throne as with its price tag. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Leave a like or dislike, subscribe for similar VR content and ramblings from me. Thanks again to Meta for sending over a review unit, and until the next video.